Thank you for joining me on the Endless Mountain Network. This is Derek, and I want to talk about doom and gloom, how a lot of people perceive this 2012 shift, this Mayan calendar change, this economic collapse, all of this type of stuff as doom and gloom. It does rhyme. It does got a good twist to it, but once again, if you want to talk about this stuff as doom and gloom, it's your choice. I don't see this myself as any type of form of doom and gloom, more along the lines of reality and great change. That might be a better word to perceive it, yet they got so many people that are going to be saying that Peter Schiff is Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom, he only wants to destroy this world. He wants to make sure everything is bad. If you want to think that, you have the freedom to think that. However, he has been talking for a long time, predicting much stuff about the economy, the NASDAQ bubble bursting, the real estate bubble bursting, gold skyrocketing. It hasn't skyrocketed yet, but look at all the indexes in 2008. Down 20%, down 30%, down 50%, down 70%, and gold flatline and on its way up. So I mean, and he's right. He's totally right. He talks about, his main thing that he talks about is stuff like the Dow Jones priced in gold, and now that is like 8.7 or so, and it used to be 9, it used to be 10, it used to be 11, heck, it used to be 44, and he's calling it to be par, and I'm calling it to even be, the gold will be even worth more than the Dow Jones, probably around 2011, 2012. But once again, I mean, I thought that the food shortage last year, back in December of 2007, with the Mayan calendar that was going on, with the bees dying, with the changes that was going on, it seemed to make very logical sense to me that there was going to be a food shortage and all this type of collapsing that was happening, food riots, whatnot. And yet in March and April of 2008, it started to happen, and I didn't think it would happen that soon. I did panic around that time, thinking we were going to be very low on time, meaning in the spring of 2008, I didn't think it would be this calm, if you will, in 2009. So trying to get a judge of how timelines work is very hard, but we did see the food shortage start in 2008, and we want to be in reality with it. Understand that we have around 7 billion people on this planet, and we cannot feed everyone. And the 2012 changes does call for what is going to be a manifestation of death in dark ages. So understand that, accept that. That's what I like to do, is realize that this type of stuff has to happen. Understand that this economic collapse has to happen. To me, I have a theory as far as trying to listen to people who got good track records. When I hear people who are predicting stuff, at first I'll take their predictions and I'll relate them to mine, I'll judge them on both sides, stuff like that. And then when they got that track record, you can start to get the trust in understanding what they're talking about. And the two in which I trust the most right now is that of Peter Schiff and that of what the Mayan calendar talks about, because they are the ones who are predicting everything so well, so perfectly pretty much up till now. Why would you want to bet against it? It's almost like saying, well, this guy's got a 96% chance of winning, so do you want to short that company? Do you want to bet against it? Do you want to bet against a team that's like perfect? No, you wouldn't want to. You'd want to be on that side. So that's the type of feeling that I get, yet so many people see Peter Schiff as this doom and gloom personality, and they see the Mayan calendar changes as doom and gloom. They see the Mayan calendar as that of what could be the end of the world, great disasters. That's how they want to portray everything, They're really using the emotion of fear over the emotion of love. They're just scared of what the negative parts are going to be, instead of accepting the fact that this type of stuff has to happen. And then instead of being scared of it, try to learn to understand, well, what are the type of stuffs that may happen and how do we get around with it? So obviously what may happen and what most likely happens based on this chart here, the stock market that's going to go down, that's it. The stock market's going to go down. So you find ways of adjusting with it. If you day trade the market, you day trade it correctly. And of course, you realize that there's going to be a dollar collapse. So you want to find, what do you want to buy? When do you want to buy it? How much do you want to have in dollars later on in 2009 and in 2010? Because I can't tell you when the dollar is going to crash, but we have to be ready for it. And like I say, I'm accepting the fact that it's going to happen and be ready for it as we move forward. So accepting what the new changes are all going to be about. You see the unemployment rate that's going to be coming into play. Once again, instead of just feeling bad for people who are losing their jobs, instead of saying that the system is just so bad and feeling so depressed about the situation, I'm getting away from that. Instead, I'm going to say, it has to happen. We have to see all these people lose the jobs, but I want to see the bright side in the whole deal. I don't want to see the negative doom and gloom in it. What kind of bright side can I see on an unemployment rate going high? Well, I see it possibly as an end of slavery. And a lot of these jobs that we have are jobs that we do not need for the future. We're talking stuff like, obviously, like the banking system. We have millions and billions, well, not billions. We have multi-millions amount of people who work in banks and financial institutions like that. Now, do I see a financial system collapse where we get out of money a bad thing? No, I see it as a good thing, but it's not like we can just go from things being hunky-dory, things being great with the money system, and then just get out of it with it still being hunky-dory. That really just doesn't make logical sense to me. So I'm just accepting and just realizing, okay, so it's going to happen. What do I do now? What can I personally do now based on the information that I know, based on the resources that I have to excel, to prosper, to be happy as we move forward? I mean, I'm not really depressed that much. If I'm depressed, I'm depressed for like 3 or 4 hours, maybe a day at tops. That's about it. And it really hasn't been, I haven't been depressed at all yet, 2009, pretty much. So that's a good thing there. And that's where I want to move forward. Also with the 2012, you can say, well, there's going to be the bad weather situations. So you prepare for whatever bad weather there's going to be. That's pretty much all you can do. And then you might say, well, the weather could be so destructive that I don't know if it's possible to survive it. Well, first of all, if you can get away, then you get away. And if you don't survive it, once again, if you don't have a fear of death, and I don't have a fear of death, then things are going to be fine anyway, because 1 out of 1 people are going to die at some point on this planet. So if I happen, per se, if the weather gets so bad where we have like an ice age in Canada and almost all of Canada's destroyed, if that happens, who cares? I mean, will the rest of the world still be fine? I gotta say yes. So maybe I reincarnate again somewhere in Venezuela. I don't know. But once again, this is some of my views on this whole doom and gloom thing. I see doom and gloom on the internet. I read an article of doom and gloom, whatnot, and I see it and I'm like, okay, so now let's be a realistic situation. I'm not going to be optimistic. I'm not going to be pessimistic. However, I will be optimistic as I can based on the situation. So that, yes, I would be optimistic in something like that. So I'm optimistic in the sense of wanting to see the stock market fall down, knowing that it is still profitable when that happens. So that's how you can make a good side out of an economic collapse. As far as, say, the weather collapse, once again, like the biggest problem I got personally, my situation, I live here in the Toronto area. Snow could be a problem, and that is right there, the problem right there, snow and wind. If it gets really bad, then it gets really bad, so be it. But I'm confident that everything's going to work out to the positive, the whole beautiful age of love and the golden age, the age of Aquarius being so amazing, is going to be that good. And I'm just going to stay confident with that, because what else can I do? I mean, if somebody knew for sure and I could trust them that it was going to be good or it was going to be bad, then I would listen to them, but that has not been the case. As far as 100% certainty, I'm living on the psychic instincts, the intuitive feeling for how things are going to be playing out. I do trust my instincts, and I have done very well lately in trusting them, so I'm going to continue to trust them, which is another positivity. Just to quickly finish this up, 2012, like I say, is about the Mayan calendar change. People see the destruction of it, possibly the end of the world. I see this as the most beautiful change that we will ever have, and there's going to be so much great stuff along the way with all the bad stuff that's going to happen. So I want to be on the side of the good stuff that happens. There will be more on that as far as creating and manifesting great stuff in this 2012 shift. Hopefully I can get that in within the next few months, but I'll get some inspiration on that. But manifestation for the good over the bad. We are creators in the sense that our thoughts can create what we want in our realities. I am creating my reality pretty much right now, and it's been very, very exciting so far. So I'd like to conclude it at that. So doom and gloom, it doesn't bother me. In fact, like I see job losses as a good thing. I see the stock market falling as a good thing. Heck, I don't even see the weather getting bad as a bad thing. So that's the way I think of it, because the way I personally perceive it is not doom and gloom. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to feel the love, accept the love, and share the love, and have yourself a magnificent day, everyone. Bye-bye.